probably know that I don't like to do a bunch of explaining up front. Rather than tell you what it is we're going to do, we're mostly just going to do it. And then the debrief or questions come out of actually doing activities. And most of my stuff is hands-on. I think I have one or two topics that I do that I have a small slide deck for. Most of them I do not. So when I'm going to go talk somewhere and somebody says, send us your slides so we can look at them, hey, no slides. And there aren't any for this. This is, if you read the blurb, Sprint Rhythm. I wanted to find out if anybody here is actually working or has worked on an Agile team, in particular a Scrum team. Yeah. Are you working on one now?
So I am the coach. I'm not on the team,
Yeah.
but I'm working with several teams.
Yeah, good. So you might be able to use something like this.
Yes, definitely. The basics are super important.
Yeah. You may have seen other similar simulations. There's one, I think it started out being called the Agile Game, where there's a lot of activity that goes on by the team members, by the people playing the team member roles, where they fold paper hats and boats and count cards and do all that kind of stuff. And those simulations are interesting. I've participated in those on both ends. And the difficulty that I had with those kinds of simulations is that I noticed that me and everybody else I observed got really involved in the activities and making things and trying to make things real fast. And they lost the rhythm and flow of the sprint. So I simplified that kind of thing down, where the work is very, very easy and kind of mechanical to do, and so that you get an experience for the rest of what's going on. So this is sprint rhythm. It's the rhythm and flow of working in sprints. So you'll get to go through grooming a backlog, doing sprint planning, doing daily scrums. That's the daily stand-up meeting, doing some work, and then having the sprint review and sprint retrospective, and cycling through that about 3 times.
We're going to do that today?
Yeah. Yeah, we are. So let's just get started. The first thing, this is going to form one team here. This is a good sized one team. You're going to have to decide for yourselves who is going to be the product owner. The product owner gets a badge. It says product owner on it. And the Scrum Master. So this is a self-organizing team. Organize that. Go ahead. Don't look at me. Look at your team.
Sure. Yep. I've never been a product owner. Is that okay?
So who's going to be the Scrum Master?
Hang on, are you not a certified Scrum product owner?
No,
I'm deeply concerned. But it's okay.
Okay.
So organize your way in defining a Scrum Master.
I was going to suggest.
Don't suggest me.
No? But you get your experience.
Yes,
You can lead us.
and that would be a terrible thing.
Yes.
So you should choose someone.
Okay. Carla? Sure.
All right. Well, why don't you come up then, Scrum Master? No, you can sit.
Oh, okay. I don't need to be there.
No,
Not yet, anyway.
I'm going to hand over the kit. This is your kit.
Whoa.
Why don't you put it in front of your team and kind of spread it out and let them have a look at it.
Hi guys, I have lots of stuff for us. Those are nice. Okay. Badge,
Thank you.
badge, stickies.
So there's a calendar back there, there's a couple of worksheets in it, and there's the worksheet on the front is called Sprint Rhythm Cycle of Work. You can, Scrum Master, you can keep one of those for yourself. There's 2 copies of this one.
Okay.
So keep one for yourself to keep track of what's going on, and you can, the rest of the team can share that other one, kind of get an idea of what's going to happen here.
Read it and then pass it on.
So this is laid out kind of like checklist items. We're going to start with.
There's several pages
a thing that's called Sprint Zero. Are we familiar with Sprint Zero? Anybody?
First, probably starting of the project.
Yeah, basically, in a real-world project, some teams use Sprint Zero to do, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they get their equipment, provisioning, yeah. It's a provisioning sprint. And we're going to use that to set up our workspace here. So we're going to have a Sprint Zero, in which you're going to create a burn-down chart according to that diagram there, but you'll create the burn-down chart on one of these pieces of paper. So feel free to come and get that anytime. You need to set up a workspace somewhere up on the wall, and since there's only one team and we've got a camera there, you might consider using this whiteboard for your workspace.
Where
Just-
is this going to be broadcast?
Same as the other ones, the YouTube?
YouTube?
Yeah.
It's a big YouTube channel, don't worry.
It's also like promoting for Steam as well.
So should this go up there?
Oh, good.
I'm going to take one piece of that off of there and put it up there somewhere.
Okay,
Good. I should probably remove the clamps.
yeah. So what's your vision here?
There's a, you're going to make a burn-down chart on that, and there's an illustration in your kit that shows roughly what that's supposed to look like. And the other team members can be thinking about creating the task board and the most important thing, choosing a name for your team. If you don't have a name, I guess you can't do work.
Hey, you got it.
So, you want
Thanks.
this or this?
You take that.
Okay, and I
And-
make this
and-
on this.
Well, you don't necessarily have to do it yourself.
I understand, but
Yeah.
I need to put this on this.
Yeah, something that looks kind of like that.
There's even a nap room over there.
Maybe right here.
Okay.
Not kidding, there is.
So team, especially Sam, team, there's other work to do here in Sprint Zero. You don't need to let your Scrum Master do the whole thing. You want to set up a task board, and the task board headings consist of 4 headings. They are product backlog, sprint backlog, doing, and done. And here's a tape dispenser with some blue tape you can use to stick stuff to the wall. So there's that for you to use. And I just caution you, be careful, this cutter is really sharp. I've cut myself on it. Not recently, but some time ago.
Labels.
Right.
And this calendar goes where?
Somewhere in your workspace.
Okay, so that's our workspace.
Well, I thought you were going to work over here, but
Yeah.
Chief, can you bring that over to the whiteboard there? But it doesn't look very nice
So,
in there.
product backlog.
No?
No, we need a sheet, some
And we have to pick a team name.
product backlog and.
these things you can just stick up as headings in your space.
So, shall we pick a team name? Anybody have any ideas? Bird?
QASource. You just came to me.
Who's not working?
The high rollers.
High rollers.
I'll go for that.
So, relative-
Feel free to move that to a convenient
High
spot.
rollers.
All right. Is that high? So where does this go relative to the backlog and to the,
Just where you can get at it, it doesn't really matter. So it's reachable.
Yeah, where the product backlog and split backlog and what will be now. Oh, it's not there.
In general, I think we move from left to right. Yeah, so I would see the product backlog.
Button down is coming there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then that's it.
Right.
so where did all those cards go that,
They're labeled, well,
Okay,
here
so
are
cards
these
are-
these are
okay,
something
and then
else.
these are something else, okay.
Right.
And the stickies are still here?
So we completed that.
Yep. So we have our name, the high rollers.
Whether you're
it on the board.
How would you feel about going over that pencil in Sharpie on the chart so it can be read from a distance?
I think he feels good about it. I like the way you suggested that, Steve. Very subtle. I'll have to admit that that was.
We try not to tell people not to give orders, you know.
That gentle something.
I'm not sure.
Right, no, it's really cool. Very effective too.
The high rollers.
Yay.
Well, we're almost got the team space set up.
So now, these are items?
Yeah, we'll get to those
Okay.
very soon. Before we start the cycles of work, I just want to I'll have to explain a little bit about what's going to go on. I believe we're going to be able to get through about 3 sprints, and the first one is going to seem very slow to you because I'm going to move you along stepwise and tell you about every step along the way. And the reason I'm doing that is so that you'll gain the knowledge of what the steps are, and so that you'll be able to do the second and third sprints mostly hands-off from me. So the first one, expect the first one to be kind of slow, and it really picks up after that.
Steve, can you do a quick just recap of what's going on?
You bet. We formed a Scrum team. The Scrum team has set up its workspace. They call themselves the High Rollers. And they've got a burn-down chart here, a calendar to keep track of what day it is, and a task board to make the work visible. And we're just about to move into grooming the backlog. So, is that good?
Yep.
So let's just move right into it. Let's groom the backlog, which means for the product owner to prioritize the backlog items. And the backlog items are, I think there are 17 items in there. They're all something that you can eat. So think of the project as being something like a reality-type TV show where people that are makers of foods will pay you to eat their products. Okay, that's why there's dollar values associated with these things. Each one has a benefit with some dollar amount on it. And let me point out also that these things come pre-estimated. Estimation was too much to fold into this exercise today. So somebody, me, has estimated the relative time it will take to do each of these for you. So you can just assume that you can behave as if your team made these estimates. They're in the upper right-hand corner. They're using the classic Fibonacci numbers. And you may use the estimates to inform you about the order in which you want to do these things.
So okay, as product owner.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm making an assumption that the estimate will relate directly to the benefit.
If you think of those two things together, the benefit and the estimate, the estimate is kind of the cost of getting it done.
Right.
Right? It's very closely related to that.
The cost of getting it done.
Yeah. It's essentially the duration. It's the amount of time relative to the other items that these things will take to get done. So you could say that this 3 here will take about 1.5 times as this 2, and so on and so forth. So if you have cost and you have benefit, you have a benefit to cost ratio,
Right.
and that might inform your decision about how you prioritize the backlog, because you don't know at this point how much you're going to get done
Right.
in any given sprint. And you don't even know about how much on average. You don't have enough information yet. So prioritize the backlog as best you can, and your goal is to get it up here on the board under the product backlog heading in order, in the order in which you want things to be done,
Okay.
with whatever you know right now.
Okay.
And while you're...
That's solely the responsibility of the product owner?
The product owner is responsible for ordering the backlog. That's not to say that the product owner has to do all the work. So you can enlist the aid of other people and ask them to assist you, Carlos, if you wish.
Okay. Let me set it up, and then what I'm gonna do is ask for everyone's input if they think anything should be changed. Does that make sense?
You can do that.
Okay, so,
And typically, do you plan for one sprint or the entire 3 sprints?
In this case, we're planning the release. We're planning the whole thing.
Then you can,
With whatever we know right now, we don't know much. Yeah.
So, say again, what is the product that we're trying to?
Well, think of the project, it's not really a product, it's an activity. Think of the project as being a TV show where you're contestants on the show. And the people who make these foods, who sell them, will pay you to eat their foods.
Ken Bob's
So-
classic big
So
boys.
if you actually do the work and
Very
actually
creepy
eat them,
management.
then you get cash prizes. Now, I've not seen a reality show like that yet. I've seen one where they eat all kinds of unsavory things, like bugs and brains and that kind of stuff.
And there's no unsavory things on.
Well, depends.
Like Arby's.
I played this game, I ran this exercise with a group over in Berkeley. And they had some vegans on the team, and they really took that to heart and carried that into the game. The vegans would not work on the non-vegan foods, and so their velocity went way down when they used it.
They're very enjoyable cookies and brownies and other baked goods.
There's Chunky Monkey.
To start.
You got a little bit of ice cream in here.
now, this is how long it takes, so I'm trying to, conceptually, I'm trying to get done high-value items
Yeah.
that take less time. Would that be right? Does that logic
This
follow?
is, yeah, it does, and it's up to you how you prioritize them. You use your own criteria,
Cost benefit.
and you're going to get to change that later if you want to.
I can do that.
Okay.
And let me
That's-
jump in here one more time. It isn't likely that you're going to get all these done in the first sprint,
Okay.
so I would concentrate on the things first that you think that you might get done in the first sprint.
Okay, and do we have to determine the sprint length?
The sprint length is going to be is determined by me, and
Oh, okay. So,
let me show you.
sorry about that. My phone.
Each team member, not the product owner, not the scrum master, is going to get one of these dice. And the way that they're going to do work is one person does a day's work by rolling the die once. Okay? So you get 5 rolls per sprint per person. And so based on that information about how work gets done, you now have some information that you might use to tell you, and so that you can tell your product owner about how much work you think you could get done in the first sprint. With knowledge of each person gets one die, you get your own die, and you roll it once, that's your day's work, okay?
They're gonna work 4 days.
No, what happens is, you use these to count off against the estimates. So if I rolled, let's say, a 3, I could take care of that and 1 point off of that one. So you're probably going to want to pencil. You can write on these to keep track of the score. You're burning down points basically.
Okay.
and there is no initial team maximum point yet.
The only information that you have about how much you might be able to get done is contained in your knowledge of rolling dice. So
That's a valid question.
you might think about average rolls or something like that.
Okay, so, the way, do I explain this? The rationale?
You can,
Layout?
yeah.
Okay. Now, Carla asked, what have I done here? So what I did was I separated the items by estimate of time and prioritized them in relation to the benefit that each one of these brings. So that, for example, I like number 8. I think it's a good example. The time estimate is 8, but the benefit for the first priority would be 2,100. Then the other next two are 1,300, and the last one in the priority within that 8 brings in 700. So I rank them in time and then in value.
So the ones at the bottom are the ones that are the most urgent, as it were, the ones you'd like to have taken off first.
Yeah, the ones that here, at the top, you're right.
So what you're going to do now is to express that and make a linear list, top to bottom, first, second, third, fourth, et cetera, to get worked on.
Okay,
So-
where do I make that list?
Right here in the product backlog.
Do you want to?
So he's going to need tape,
Yep, that's some,
Oh,
ready to
okay.
go.
In the product backlog.
right.
Are you gonna go 2, 2, 3, 3, 5?
Yeah, that's what I thought I would do.
But you're not going to put all of these cards up, because
Yeah.
there's not enough room.
So how do
Yeah,
you,
that's the way
Put a reasonable number up.
a reasonable number?
Yeah, and your team should be able to help you figure that out.
Okay,
But
so,
the important thing is to go and start getting them up.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, oh, thank you.
Should we
I'm
also
thinking,
focus the highest value first? too,
So,
first
yeah,
first
yeah, that's what.
That's
what you're doing.
something for you to work out, but
Would I take maybe?
let me take a time out here.
I would take the lowest, yeah.
Let me take a
first
time
level
out.
And put them up there, and then we could put them, it's right here, right? Is where it goes?
Yeah.
So we could put the ones
Yeah.
that are most important here, and then if we have room, we can put the ones behind it.
Yeah, let me tell you something that I tell most of the teams that I start out with. One of the most important precepts in Agile, which is not talked about, but which happens all the time, is these two simple words. Try it. Try something to see if it works, and if it doesn't work, you can change it.
Okay,
Rather than spending a lot of time up front trying to figure out conceptually what's the best solution, try a solution that could possibly work
Okay. Here.
and keep moving.
okay, so we're gonna do it that way.
Is this your lower level?
Right.
Okay, why don't you start first another
Yeah.
one?
And team members, while they're doing this, you can be thinking about the way that you do work and how many points, for example, you think you might be able to get done in a sprint. And talk amongst yourselves, see if you can figure that out. I mean, there's various ways to look at it, but you want to make an initial guess.
Actually, we can put it on the row behind here, and then to the left. That might be different. So I'm trying to keep the high value ones forward.
A sprint is
Oh, I was
um,
doing it in.
one roll of the die by each person for 5 days. So you will get to roll the die 5 times. He'll get to roll it 5 times, so on and so forth. So however many rolls that is.
But I mean, the backlog includes all the stuff that's still on the table, so, I mean, they need to go somewhere.
A friendly suggestion here. You're going to want to keep those separate from each other because they're going to be moving independently.
Well, the table comes, the table go. Okay. Yeah, we'll separate them as the tape comes off. It's not a problem.
Based on the size of the team.
Okay. So you have the beginning
That's a good thing.
of a backlog here.
But now, don't all the cards have to go up? I mean, isn't it for a true backlog?
Not necessarily.
Okay,
It's important to concentrate on the ones that are on the near horizon.
okay. So these are the ones we want to achieve this first time.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so
Sounds
you
good.
took
Do
this.
you want to have a second tier, just in case we're really productive?
I know. Yeah. Okay, so
You just have to have knowledge of order. That's all. You don't necessarily need to put them up there.
this is the ROI.
You don't need to put them up?
You don't necessarily need to.
Got
This
it.
is what I thought was the benefit,
Alright.
but you're dividing this by
So
three
now what?
costs to get the benefit.
I think we're ready to go
Are
and
we?
begin our
Okay.
sprint.
All right, and then we'll do the,
So
we'll get the
that,
next numbers.
that was a bit of backlog grooming. Backlog grooming in the real world consists of a number of things. The product owner keeps the product backlog in some kind of order, and that order is often always changing. Other things that can happen in a backlog grooming session are estimating tasks and breaking big tasks down into big items down into small items. So let's just take that as read. We've done some initial backlog grooming, and we're ready to start sprinting.
No,
You're good.
we have to just keep it in mind on the table.
So let's do
It's our backlog.
Monday's sprint planning. Scrum Master, you're going to want to have that Post-it pad right there.
Thank you. Could you pass
Oh,
it
sure.
And it's going to be your responsibility to keep track of what day of the week it is.
Okay,
We're
today's
gonna-
Monday.
So it's Monday, so you might put a marker there,
Okay.
because you're going to,
Can
You're
I
gonna
use
wanna-
a piece of little paper?
this was designed to go this way.
Great. We're done.
So you're going to want to advance that along as the days progress,
I can do that.
all right? So the sprint planning meeting typically consists of two parts. There's the deciding what to work on part, and then the second half, deciding how to work on it. And although I've limited you here in that you work on it always by rolling a die, by rolling dice, there's many, many different ways you can divide this work up. So the deciding how to do the work is actually an important part of this, like it is in the real world. For example, you might decide to work on one item at a time and everybody roll against that item. Or you might decide to work on multiple items and people work separately but count against the item they're working on. And in any case, what you want to do once we get over here is you want to, whatever you're working on, you want to appear in the doing column, because that radiates information to people who are not you and who don't know what you're thinking about what you're doing. So these are big visible charts that radiate information. We know what day it is. We're going to know what our progress is through the burn down chart. And we'll know what's being worked on and what's going to be worked on by looking at the task board. Okay? So let's do a little sprint planning. Let's do the first half first, deciding what to work on. This I like to do in a fairly formalized way, where the product owner will offer these items one at a time to the team.
Okay.
And ask the team something like, do you believe that you can get this done this sprint? And one way that the team can signify this is to use thumb voting. You can vote like this, and that's a yes. That's 100% agreement. You can vote, no, I don't believe we can get that done. Or you can vote like this, sideways, which is contrary to what some people believe. It is not 50% agreement. It's 100% support. So if you're not sure, but all your everybody else does a thumbs up, and you do a thumb sideways, that's a yes. That is, you're not sure yourself, but you're in support of the team's decision. So
Is this standard in the stand-ups?
a lot of people use this, yeah.
Okay.
It's not official, but it's just a technique we use to, it's a shorthand, you know.
Is it one card per person, or can two persons share or more persons share a card?
How do you mean share a card?
If it's a 13-point,
Yeah.
can you sit
The-
one
the
person
only-
on that 13? Or-
The only guidelines that I have for you are that each person gets to roll one die every day for 5 days. And how you divvy up the work is the second half of this meeting that we're having. You decide how you're going to work on it, what you're going to try as a technique for getting work done, and you'll get a chance, you'll get a couple more chances to change the way that you work. So yeah, there's some really loose guidelines.
So each of them is gonna roll a dice and get a value, and then they're gonna go around the room and pick who gets,
I don't know how they're going to do it.
well, that's what I'd like to see.
Well, okay, you can guide them as the Scrum Master.
Okay.
You can't tell them. They're a self-organizing team, and they need to decide for themselves with your guidance.
Okay,
You can certainly give them your input,
okay,
but you're not a manager in the typical sense.
that's fine.
Okay?
But I was just wondering how, if they're supposed to roll the dice, or I could just ask them to roll the dice and then,
They'll probably just start doing it,
okay.
but if they don't, you can certainly urge them along.
Well, I'd like to urge you gentlemen.
It's
to
not
roll the
time
dice.
yet.
Oh, it's not?
No,
When is it time?
you'll find that out,
Okay.
honestly. So, product owner,
Yeah.
what you want to do is offer these things to your team one at a time and see if you can bring them into the sprint.
Okay. Are we putting stuff on the front of backlog with the sprint backlog? Is that what we're doing?
Yes,
Okay. So we're not rolling dice yet, we're just deciding.
That's
okay,
right.
I'm gonna get that card. give it
that's
to me,
right.
I can do it.
So ask your team.
Okay, so we've got a variety of benefit cards here, and the tasks are from easy to complex. I'd like to offer this up to the team. And it is,
Hang on one second.
sure.
Is your order bottom to top?
I'm, at this point, if I'm offering it based on the benefit.
Okay, so tradition says top to bottom, first, second, third, et cetera,
Oh,
like
so-
a list.
So this should have been reversed.
Yeah,
orders.
I would do that if I were
Okay,
you,
okay,
yeah.
no worries, I can do that.
And also, can we put all those cards, because the whole
Yeah, you did that consistently.
Sorry?
product backlog.
I think you're good the way you are. If you need more cards, you can bring them in when they're needed.
Okay,
Carlos, you're gonna have to move the cards, so don't stick them to each
don't,
other.
don't stick them together? Okay, got it, thank you.
Somebody's gonna move the cards,
Alright,
probably not you.
okay, so,
So then start with the very first one. See, this radiates information because,
Yeah, that-
because
you're right.
our custom
I see that.
is that the first starts on the top.
Okay.
You know,
Sounds
just like we
good.
drive on the right-hand side of the road here, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So something everybody knows. So offer,
Okay.
offer that first one to your team,
All right, so, do I take it off or leave it?
if you wish.
Okay, I'd like to offer this up to the team. It's a high value of 4,400 for 10 Chipotle burritos.
And the estimate
The
is,
estimate is 13, so it's not the highest estimate.
just go ahead and offer it.
Anybody
Do-
want to take this?
You ask the team
Sure.
something like,
Oh, well,
do you think that you can get this done this sprint? Just ask them.
do you think you can get this done this sprint?
How many days for a sprint?
5?
Yes, okay, so I said yes.
You said yes.
So, I'm sorry, I have some questions about this story, Mr. Product Owner.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, is it burrito of our choice?
10 Chipotle burritos, and the ingredients
Yeah.
for the Chipotle burrito are standard.
So, okay, so I'm not sure I can commit to this story, unless I'm sure that none of those ingredients are something that any of my team would be allergic to,
Okay.
okay? So maybe, we need to make sure there's no cilantro, right? Some people are allergic to cilantro.
Is anybody allergic to cilantro?
If I were you, I would just assure him that it's like he wants it.
Okay, there is no cilantro
And-
in the Chipotle burrito.
Okay, and just so I understand how we know when we're done with them, they come in a foil wrapper,
Right,
maybe
exactly.
some other packaging.
Mhm.
Does that need to be deposited in the right kind of bin, or can I just leave it wherever?
What do you think?
I wanna make sure that when we're done, you are truly satisfied.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up. We're gonna have all of the Chipotle burritos should be wrapped in aluminum foil, and they should be placed over in this bin here. So when you have 10 completed,
Right.
I'll see 10 in this bin.
And so, just, could you make a note on the card so we know that you've recorded that, because that might be important later?
Okay.
You don't have to write it out, you can just, draw a star.
Foil / bin. Okay. And you can-
So now you need to ask them again.
All right. So, do you think you can deliver the 10 Chipotle burritos
This sprint,
this sprint?
thumbs up, 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 and up. So that goes into the sprint backlog.
Okay.
So what you did was you were verifying the requirement.
We wanna make sure we understand the story, we
Yes.
wanna make sure we know
Okay, his expectation of done is.
exactly.
Oh, definition of done.
Well,
That's what- okay.
acceptance criteria here. but,
Acceptance
yeah.
criteria, got it, okay. So thank you. I consider myself coach, so let me see, offer this up to the team. We need 10 pints of Ben and Jerry's Chunky Monkey ice cream, high value of 3,600, estimate 21. And the definition of done would be when the 10 pints are packaged and delivered into the refrigerator.
Empty containers?
You
We're
would-
supposed to consume the ice cream, is that right?
Yes, you're supposed to eat it.
Okay.
That's
sorry?
that's the work
Yeah.
for all of these.
Oh, you guys are eating this?
Yeah.
So,
Sorry about that.
can I ask, do we have to use this if it's a hot day?
If it's a hot day,
Yeah, because the ice cream might melt, we might have to eat it faster. On a hot day, that might be, I don't know, more difficult.
Right. Or better, because you'll cool off. So,
So,
I would say then, I will know when you have completed, when you have consumed the 10 pints, when I see 10 empty containers in the trash bin.
Yeah, and it's already been estimated at a 21, so
In the recycle
those
bin.
kinds of things won't really affect the estimate at this point.
Okay, so empty and in recycle.
might affect the brain freeze.
Okay, so ask your team if they can get this done in addition to the other one.
You can do this in this sprint in addition to this other.
It's a 21.
Total now would be 44?
Yeah.
How many?
No,
34.
34.
34.
4, 3, 4.
4 or 5
Thumbs up, okay.
I think I can do it.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
You can do that.
You can do it, okay, cool.
Okay, go ahead and offer the next one.
Okay, so the next one is, we need to eat 10 Burger King Whoppers in an estimate of 8 for a value of 2,100. And the criteria for this will be 10 wrappers in the waste paper basket.
So, I'm a vegetarian, I'm not qualified to work on this story.
Okay,
I just want the team to know that.
okay,
Okay,
and we respect that. We don't have any other vegetarians, do we?
It's important.
So-
No, absolutely.
call for a vote.
Absolutely. So let's have a vote. Can we do this one as well? Okay. 3, yes?
Yeah, and by the way, I'm just trying to demonstrate, you might have somebody with specialized skills,
Mhm.
or lack of those skills. That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really cool.
Did you,
Not necessarily an objection, but the skills issue.
Matters when you're doing it.
Great, okay.
good, so you got a yes vote,
Okay, very good.
So now the running total is 40?
Oh,
34?
Yeah,
Oh, 42.
you said this one is what?
That means that you will support the thumbs up votes of the rest of the team.
Okay.
So it counts for a yes if everybody else votes this way.
Yeah, because I'm not certain that so already, how many, what is the effort?
34.
34
Plus
8, so
42.
until we calculate the sprint effort, we don't know, we can support that total 3.
Then the appropriate vote is this. And if anybody wants to try to convince you otherwise,
He's vegetarian, he's not going to work one of those stories, so
what do you think?
he just like 4 people.
My inputs are, calculating our average output of work would be like at least 3 a day. So we've got 5 members on the team, so we have 15 unit that we could do. So over 1 week period, we will at least average 75. So I'm thinking like based on that calculation, unless someone gets sick or something,
Right.
we would still be able to backfill that. So I think we are able to do it.
Oh, okay.
okay, really cool.
I agree with that because that's a good logic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so that's in.
So should we go on? No, we still have, if
Offer-
following that logic. we
offer
can-
another one.
Yeah, following that logic, we could actually do more.
Ask the team.
So how do you feel about eating 10 ears of corn? 5, estimate of 5, 700 worth of value.
More high value stuff?
These are the first rung of the high value.
Yeah.
Yeah, these
The-
are.
the
these are
question
the
here-
high value.
What happens here is, in this meeting, the product owner offers stories in the order the product owner wants to offer them in. So order is not your business.
Yes.
See these other ones yet?
Oh, they don't ask? Even if they want?
If they're curious, they can, but this is your responsibility to make sure that they're ordered appropriately. You can certainly take input from them, but at the sprint planning meeting, all the information that, you should be bringing all that information into the room. Everybody should know already.
So this is all we see, we don't see anything else? What's on the board is what we see?
Basically, you need to be concerned about what is offered, yeah.
Okay, so, and the definition of done for this is when we have the remains of these ears of corn
The corn cobs?
in the corn cobs in the green bin for recycle. And we need to see 10 of those corn cobs. What do you think we can do this? 5. We can definitely add 5 to this, I think, based on the original, right? Okay, thumbs up. Okay,
Good.
great.
So now you're at 47, do I have that right?
Yes, I believe you do. 48. 49, no, 47. 42 plus 5. 47. Well, I think we could probably do.
Yeah, just keep offering until they squawk.
Got it.
That's the way to move it along, you know,
got
yeah.
it. All right, so the
Just
next,
keep,
the next
I want
is,
this, I want more.
consuming 20 Brussels sprouts, value of 700, estimate of 3. I think we can.
You get a thumbs down over here.
We inquire about that?
Good, you should, yeah.
So Sam, you have a thumbs down?
I have two concerns.
Okay.
One is I don't like Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
And the other is, we're kind of new to this. I'm really worried about getting all this work done.
Well, we give it a try, and if something falls behind, we'll backlog. Is that?
I'm personally not very fond of stretch goals, but that's me. I think it might be wise to give the team an easy win. Give them something that they can feel an accomplishment about, a genuine accomplishment about. If they bite off more work than they can chew,
Oh, this was all intentional.
and have stuff that's unfinished, they're going to, it's going to be demoralizing.
Is that a morale?
Yeah.
You can 13 then, like, it's only
So would you
4 or 5
trade?
people, right?
Well, no, this is a high benefit.
They're not really concerned about that. They're concerned about how long it's going to take.
Right, but I'm concerned about it.
You are,
I
yes,
am. I definitely
but they're
wanna-
not.
Okay, I definitely think we can do this. And
I agree with
you
that.
do, don't you?
Yeah, we are well within the parameters of our
Right. And,
capacity.
So
Are there
call
other
for a
members of
vote.
the team who
Okay,
think
so
they can do
Call
it?
for a
I
vote.
don't eat Brussels sprouts unless it's cooked certain way, so.
Call for a vote.
okay,
Another
shall we vote?
Brussels sprouts and bacon?
Can we
Well,
vote?
maybe you could have an extra burrito.
if you, it has the same value as the higher estimate.
Right, and it's a
It's
lower.
lower effort.
Yeah.
So I think if we want to do something less. we
At
should
this
switch
point, you
sides.
should be concerned just with can you get it done or not.
Okay, we can get
So,
it.
You can-
you
Let's
vote
see those
no,
thumbs.
so are you gonna change it?
Yeah, I'm just worried about the effort. It is actually exceeding for a spring. So I'm just thinking whether we can do it or not. Or you want to trade with other story if you want to, because this has more value compared to others?
So what is,
I would urge you to go ahead and complete selection
Yeah.
and see how much work you can actually get done
Okay.
instead of analyzing it up front, because you can do that all day.
And another point is, it would be better to let the team decide. So, Steve tried to get another vote, and then you could go from there. It would really be nice to have the team decide.
because it would garnish commitment, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, decision is the team, but you can give your input.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
What is the penalty for failure to complete the backwards?
Severe.
That's a bad word.
There is no penalty as such,
Then,
but there's no benefit either.
Yeah.
The team will do better and will be more interested in doing additional work if they have a sense of accomplishment and they're actually getting things done. If it always looks like they're behind and not finishing, I've been in that situation myself and don't like it. And also there's this, if they get everything done and there's more capacity to do work, you can just pull in more items. You can always do that. This is not a commitment not to go over these. This is, we're going to get at least this much done. So you try to get it, you try to nail it. We can get exactly these many things done
Okay,
and try not to go over.
all right.
So are you offering this again?
Yes, I am. I'm still offering this one. I think that we'll end it there, but,
can we have a vote?
okay.
That was
To
good.
go.
It's your job anyway
Yes,
to
shorten the discussion.
keep things moving.
I mean, we
You
had a discussion.
you can take over that from me as we,
Oh, no,
no, you should, as we proceed. It's part of your job.
So I'm gonna wait for the next sprint for this one then.
Okay, you don't have to offer anymore, so there's your sprint backlog. All right, good. Now, the team gets to decide how to do the work. And by team, in this case, I mean only the roles, people in what we call the team member role. The Scrum Master and Product Owner don't get to decide how you do the work. You do. You're doing the work. So you're the only ones that will roll. If you had been doing estimates, you're the only ones who would have estimated. And you get to decide how to do the work because you're in the best position to know that. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you maybe 5 minutes to figure out how you're going to tackle these things. You know you're rolling dice, but that's really the only guideline. You know how many rolls you're going to have and like that. So go ahead and figure that out. Figure out something to try.
So is it, so each day, they're gonna roll the dice for each day?
We have 10 burritos. Does one person feel up to eating 10 burritos? Maybe we have more than one person?
Well, that's the way he's taking it, so, yeah.
Should we have more than one person with it? I mean, is there somebody that's like, you know,
Yeah, 13, I
famous,
think.
famous dinner?
I'll take 13. The burrito.
You'll eat all 10?
Sure.
You're good with that?
Yeah. My dice can handle it.
And do you think you can get that done in the spring?
Yes, sir.
You do?
So we only have 5 days in 10.
Yeah.
Let me point out at this point that this map is not necessarily to scale. The items, the real world items may not map exactly or even nearly to the number that's up there. These were assigned by me doing some calculations. So the real question in the simulation is, how are you going to burn down the points? Okay.
So you're gonna eat 10 burritos
Sure.
in the spring? in a 5-day spring?
If I do 3 per day, I can make it.
So that's basically 4 tasks, 3 tasks for 3 burritos and 1 task for a 4th burrito? Is that right? So you're sort of figuring you'll finish this on day 4?
Yes.
Okay. Any other team members?
No,
have
I'm
an
not
idea
gonna commit
about-
to day 4, I'm just gonna commit through the
Okay, so you would basically be consumed by doing
By
these
doing, yes.
burritos
for the
in
whole
the
spring.
Okay, anybody have a better way or
I
different way
think-
to do this work?
I think there's many approach, right?
Yeah.
So there's 5, right? So we have 5 people.
Yeah.
So this one simplest way, okay, each one of us take one, right? So without looking at the
Yeah.
number.
Yeah,
right?
but
So
some
that's
of
one.
these are very small, so they're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
have
just
other
saying
things
this
to
one,
do
right?
during
So
the week.
the other thing, we can each card everyone participate, right?
Yeah, right,
And
exactly.
5 of us.
Exactly.
And or we can do mix, right? So think about if we are, the key thing is this is a teamwork.
Sure.
So teamwork, not necessarily we have to do everything together, but
So,
think about eating, we have 5 days to eat, right? So if you eat all the same food for 5 days, maybe a little bit too boring, right?
Good point, good
You
point.
spread it out, right?
Good
And
point.
it will help, right?
I like
So-
this point.
however, he might be quite an expert at eating burritos.
He might be.
And that might really advance us.
And
to
don't
getting
forget
all
he's
this
a
stuff.
vegetarian.
I'm a vegetarian.
Right, so the other thing
And won't eat
to look at is, if some of these things, some of you are not gonna eat,
Right.
cannot do it,
That's right.
participate, then
Yeah.
we have to
Okay.
cover that, right? So
So
Okay, all right.
do you understand how you're going to work? Have you decided?
So
Okay.
we know there's at least 4, so we know there's at least 4 tasks here. There could be 5 tasks.
So mechanically, what's this going to look like? You want to tell your product owner about your plan for getting work done.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I suggest that we have 5 tasks of 2 burritos each.
So essentially, in general, you're going to swarm on items and get them done one item at a time,
So I don't think we've decided that yet.
okay?
I think we know the work units for this particular story,
Yeah.
and then we might save the swarming for the weekend.
You know, what is swarm? I'm not familiar with that term.
So, what Steve is saying is that, and I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but you said, well, we could all take 2, right? So that means the whole team works on the story rather than
That's
having some subset of
Just
the team.
one second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that
I mean,
Well,
I don't know if the product owner can speak.
You can offer your opinion, but you don't get to decide this.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to point out, that following Sam's logic and Ming's contribution about dividing the work, interestingly enough, so there's 5 team members, and the number required in each of these tasks is actually divisible by 5. So it could be very, very effective to divide it that way. You've got 10, 10, 10, 10, and then 20.
Except one of those tasks, one of your team members is not qualified to work.
Oh, right.
So that one would be 2.5.
Okay, I'm going to declare this part of the meeting over,
Okay.
just to move the simulation along. And do you understand how you're going to do your work? Okay, then my suggestion is you just start rolling dice the way that you think you should be doing it, and you'll work it out as you go.
Sounds good, can you guys?
The only thing I would ask of you is,
Roll the dice first?
if you're going to work on something, let the world know that by putting it in the doing column, what you're working on. You can write on these cards if you want to do the subtractions that you need. I roll, let's say a 5, I'll take that, strike out the 13 and put an 8 there, like that. Make sure you're working on only on things in a doing column, and when they're done, move them over here. You're going to want to keep track of what sprint things got done in as well.
Monday. Can we guys know?
Everybody have a die?
Yeah.
All right.
2. 2 to 4. 5. Yeah, I mean, I'm adding. 7. How many? 4. 7, 4, 11. So 11, either we can check one, I mean, here minus 11, take 1, or you want to subtract 2, 2, 2, 2, and then.
You gentlemen have to decide, do you all wanna have burritos to start?
So we
Or
have
do you wanna
11.
split up some other things, or?
Doesn't the product owner says nothing to this?
The team is doing work,
Oh.
Yeah.
So
and
So
they'll know
you're in your
when
yard.
it's done.
Until we complete the
let me
space.
suggest that we decide whether we're going to start a story, and then we know how much progress we made on it. Okay, so team, shall we start the burrito story?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole team will work on that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And we know how much progress we've made on that, because we just rolled, what was the total? 11. And that one is how much? 13. So that leaves us 2. Okay, great.
Okay, so then they roll again?
So
Well,
next day?
do we want?
So where does, I haven't been a Scrum Master before,
Right.
so is there anything at this point that I'm expected to do in order to fulfill my role as Scrum Master?
Not really, not yet.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So,
That was Monday's work, yes?
yeah, that's fine.
So we're going to roll over to Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And
Actually, do we need to add up all the things to start with and the breakdown?
you don't need to do that now.
Here, I can do it.
So do we want to, it's the beginning of Tuesday, do we want to start?
What you want to do now is have a daily scrum.
The daily scrum, yeah.
Yeah. So the daily scrum is the daily stand-up meeting that typical scrum teams have. It's often called the daily stand-up because people traditionally stand during the meeting. It's 15 minutes tops, and that's the reason for the standing, is to keep it short. If you let people sit down, it'll run longer. And everybody on the team answers basically three questions, which are, what did you do since we met? What did you get done since we met last? Or in this case, what did you do? What are you going to do between now and the next time we meet at the next daily scrum? And do you have any impediments standing in the way of getting that done? Now, the Scrum Master can prompt people to answer these questions. You can call on people. You can have them call on each other or what. But you need to facilitate this and get it rolling. So three questions, everybody. You got about 2 minutes to do this.
So the first question is, how did we do yesterday?
Yeah, let me start with that. I consumed 2 two burritos, two burritos. And today I'm going to work on the burger king effort. And tomorrow I'm not going to work. I'm not working. I'm taking off tomorrow.
Oh, you're off on Monday?
Tomorrow, Thursday. Oh,
And is there anything standing in your way? Any impediments?
I don't think I have any. I can do that.
Okay,
You're
good,
sailing for a Whopper today?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning today.
okay. Just whoever's next.
Me?
Okay, so I spent two effort on the burrito today, yesterday. So today I'm going to, well, I don't mind to do the waffle too.
Don't forget, we still have some leftover burrito.
Sure.
And any impediments to getting your work done?
Nope, none at this point.
Okay,
Hey, yesterday, I can take one burrito.
Mhm.
The Ben and Jerry, that's a higher value.
What I'm gonna do today is,
they,
I would like to have
they're
some
taking them from the top.
for lunch.
Okay,
That's the order they're in. They're-
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're taking Whopper versus
Okay.
Ben and Jerry's.
I
They,
completed,
they should actually pull them from the top.
Okay, sure.
But-
today, and I can work on the rest of the burrito today.
great.
No impediments.
So yesterday I completed 2 burritos. Today I'm going to have some ice cream. And my impediment is I'm feeling a little bit unwell from eating 2 burritos yesterday.
Good.
So is that everybody? And Ali, did you go?
Yeah.
You went? All right, that's right, you're taking Wednesday off. Okay, so, shall we roll the dice at this
Yep.
point?
The next step is do some work.
You need to move to the Whopper.
Nobody's volunteering to do
Yeah.
ears of corn.
Okay?
Oh,
Do some work.
Okay, let me start. Oh, 4.
Okay, Ali, why don't you go up first and say what you're gonna mark, what you're gonna do? You're gonna do Whoppers. You're gonna do 4 Whoppers? Okay,
Yeah, I'll do Whopper.
when?
Gotta roll higher.
Not 4 Ben and Jerry's.
Ooh. Check your monthly.
4 pints.
So I ate 2 burritos, we can move that to complete, to done, and, or can we do that?
So you're gonna,
Yeah, I've consumed 2, now
Okay.
I'm available to do 2 burgers.
But what did you roll?
roll the
You
4.
rolled 4, so what you got done was
2 and 2.
4 points of burritos.
No, 2 burritos, there was just 2 left.
So we're down to 1 Whopper. Congratulations, guys.
So I,
Is that everyone? Oh,
One Whopper and lots of ice cream.
Point towards the ice cream today.
What?
I told you I was a bit unwell.
Okay,
What else? Just one?
That's what.
so, we've completed the burritos. We have a lot of ice cream left, and we're down to 1 Whopper and gotta eat your vegetables, guys.
Question, Steve, do I move that to done prior to the scrum meeting, or no?
I think what we're doing is moving them to done when they're done.
Okay.
Yeah. There's different ways to do this. So is that Tuesday's work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's roll over to Wednesday then.
But do I need to count up the points, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think,
So
I am 4.
1 to 5,
4.
What was that, 4 plus 1?
13, 14.
14, okay, thanks. Okay. All right, welcome to Wednesday.
It is now Wednesday.
I'm not
What-
working.
What do you do now? Okay. So what's the activity now?
I'm gonna assume
Somebody tell me.
One and
Daily scrum.
Daily scrum, that's right. Okay?
So we kind of know how we did yesterday because we rolled the dice. So now.
What you want to do is ask them to answer the 3 questions.
Yes, okay, so how did you do yesterday?
So I consume 1 Whopper. So today I'll do some ice cream.
Do you have any impediment?
My stomach will feel straight. After 2 days of heavy eating, so
I had 4 units of ice cream yesterday. And today I would like to have some corn.
Okay.
And no impediments.
Alright, so I consumed the rest of the burritos and moved that to done, and then I ate 2 Whoppers, and I want to eat some corn too. today.
And yesterday I consumed one pump of ice cream, and today I would like to do some more ice cream and maybe also some corn.
Any impediments?
Not feeling better.
Good.
So move the corn to do it.
Well, first we have to roll the,
To do it first.
oh, of course.
All right, good.
I just want to know that the Brussels sprouts have not yet been chosen.
Yes, it could be a long day on Thursday.
so 16 is the remaining one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had to subtract 3 out of that. You got 3 or 4?
Yeah, 3.
3, okay.
So I'll eat 3 ice cream.
Okay. Okay,
And 2 corn.
2 corn,
That's 3 ice cream and 1 corn.
3 ice cream and 1 corn. This one.
And I'm gonna, do 4 units of work on the ice cream and 1 unit on the corn.
We could almost finish the corn if somebody wants to shift something.
So you asked what did we do yesterday? So without a time machine, it would be hard to change one of those.
I don't get your point.
Yeah.
She said if we shifted some of the work, we really can't. Because we talked about, what did you do yesterday? What are you gonna do today?
Yeah, this is basically the plan for the sprint, for the week, so.
And it's okay not to, I presume it's okay not to have something done every day. If we're still doing, we're still.
It's perfectly fine to say, I'm still working on so-and-so. You just say what's going on, whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah, not everything has to be done within a day.
How many talking?
So I have 3,
You have 2.
2, 5, 4, 9.
That's fine.
You have 5?
14.
14. You're back today.
Yeah, okay.
So that was, was that Wednesday's scrum?
Yes, it was.
And so it's time to do some work?
Now we're on Thursday.
Thursday,
Okay.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Thursday,
Wait. The order is you do the daily scrum and then do some work that day.
Yeah.
So which scrum did we just do?
Well,
Thursdays?
the way it's been working is that we have done the scrum, they've said what they were gonna do, they roll the dice, and we take it out, so in effect, we've kind of moved, condensed.
What I'm asking is, which scrum did we just do?
We did Wednesday.
We did Wednesday. We're just setting up to do Thursday.
Well, the order of events each day is do the daily scrum, then do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not what you just described.
No, they're just
No,
about to
yeah.
do the scrum.
Yeah, for Thursday.
Didn't you just report out on doing the scrum?
Then we roll the dice, right? So then.
Well, we've been counting the dice and putting it onto this.
Okay, well, you know better than you know where you are, so tell me, where are you now? What's your next
Well,
activity?
it's Thursday morning,
And you're going to,
and we're about to say how we did yesterday, which we kind of already know. And then we're
I
going
got
to-
enough, I got it.
Okay,
So you're doing Thursday Scrum.
exactly.
Thanks, I was confused.
It's kind of condensed, that's all.
Okay, yesterday I was off and,
We hope you had a nice day.
yeah, of course. Today I'm planning to eat ice cream, and I don't think I have any cold, anything, so I have no impediments. I can eat ice cream.
Me?
So yesterday I ate some ice cream. So today I can eat some sponge.
Okay, great. So all we missed is the moon.
Maybe I can also eat some corn and water. Depending on how I go.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, yesterday I had 2 units of corn. I would like to try the Brussels sprout today, and then I have no impediments right now.
So I completed 3 ice cream yesterday and 1 corn. Plan to tackle on Brussels sprouts today. Oh, it's just a 3. Brussels sprouts and ice cream. No impediments.
Excellent.
Yesterday I ate some ice cream and some corn. And today I would like to have some more corn.
There's only 1 corn left, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And several people said they were gonna work on it.
Did you say you were gonna?
I did that
Yeah, say maybe.
intentionally, because I wanted you to see them.
Oh, not my first.
Okay, so is that your Scrum?
So it looks like everybody has their plan, so if you can roll your dice, then we can,
Do Thursday's work.
okay, so,
Okay, I got 5 ice creams, please.
okay. One left.
So I have 2, so I will eat 2 sponge.
One left.
I have 4, so I would like to finish up the Brussels sprout. And actually, what's an avocado? I'm not sure if I can grab that avocado.
That's okay with me. Do you mind having the avocado taken care of? or-
Not at all.
You're not quite done with some other things.
But I'd prefer, frankly, that somebody eat the last pint of ice cream so we can complete that task.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so can you tell me what your 4 is again?
Yeah, so Brussels sprout. So
Brussels sprout
yeah.
is, so you have
One.
1, so now we're down to 0.
and
This
then
is
I can
done.
also have the ice cream.
And then you want
How
ice
many ice
cream?
creams?
Just one ice cream.
There's only 1 left.
You have 2 left.
You have 4.
Yeah, and then
You can do it.
I'll have the Barbary.
And
I'm not too big on the corn, so
you're just gonna take pass?
yeah. So I'll
Leave
take
it for
that,
someone
yeah.
else to do?
Did
Okay.
you use all 4?
But you still have a point?
Yeah, I have 1 point left.
Okay.
So,
How does that work?
What do you think about bringing in some avocado and
Yeah,
seeing what we can do? I think the team could probably take it. You're down on that.
Well,
What about the rest of the
so-
team?
the reason I'm down is because I haven't finished all the stories we have. Yeah.
You have 1 ear of corn left,
Great, that's fine.
so I think there might be some stuff you guys could do.
In the real world, what you would do is make sure that everything was actually all done before you, before the product owner offers more things into the sprint.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
Yeah, so how do you
T.
put the-
by the book, you would get them all done.
Well, I mean, it's,
Did that get done?
Yeah, that finish off my
Okay.
so, Bert, would you like some avocado, or would you like to take the day off?
Product owner, what actually happens, hang on, time. What actually happens here is you go to your product owner and say, hey, we finished all our work ahead of time, give us more work.
Got it.
And the product owner would offer,
I've got something,
okay?
for sure. I've got 2 easy
I
things.
think we have to, even though, we planned for 5 days, so we finish in 4 days, let's complete our sprint review, and then retrospective, and then we can move to the next sprint.
I'll cut short the
It's not like we can take tomorrow off.
Take the day off? Is that what you mean?
What are you saying, Ben? Because we've done, we've
Yeah, we
delivered our
can't
sprint
change,
commitment.
we just. It's okay to complete the sprint before, right, before
The sprint ends on a calendar boundary, not based on the number of points you do.
Right.
So if you get done what looks like early,
Uh-huh.
you have more capacity to do more work to complete the sprint.
Right, because we have this backlog here, that's still.
Yeah.
There's still a backlog,
Yeah,
it's
there
just
still
not
is.
up on the board.
So I can't take a day off.
Yeah, but logically, the sprint is whatever, shippable items, so we group logically together and we plan to deliver it. Now you are making changes to that. It may impact the final delivery date if you make changes now.
Well, we underestimated.
The trash bins could overflow, somebody could get sick. He's saying we've completed the sprint commitment, it's quality work. Don't break it.
This would be up to your boss,
Is it the sums?
because the boss may not let you take the day off.
And, you know,
So my suggestion is let's complete this iteration because we have done, like, off the plate, then we can start as a fresh, whatever, as for the product owner, which storage gives the more cost benefit or more benefit. we take that.
If you can convince your boss that it's okay to do that, there's nothing to prevent you from,
So Steve, you're the vice president of engineering, right? So
I'm the
all he needs
CEO.
to do is convince you.
I'm the CEO,
You're where the buck
So-
stops.
yeah.
Yeah, probably, I mean, it's team agreement, but it depends on the product owner. Are you okay to?
No, the product owner doesn't,
Ollie, if you overestimate and you have stuff that you can't complete during the week, do you have to stay until it's done? Or can you push that into the next week?
If it is overestimate, it's okay to, extend 1 or 2 days. But not the vice versa.
well, as the CEO of this company and the producer of the television show, my decision is, we've got to have a Friday show. So get back to work.
Yeah, we will get back to the work. Let's finish that and we will start another sprint and plan that. So whatever we plan for this.
We need to have you fill in
Yeah,
Friday. We need to have you work Friday.
We can start a new scrum, a new sprint for Friday.
No,
No?
sprints are a fixed length, yeah.
So you can't change.
Okay, so we know we have to work on Friday, but it was, thanks for trying, we appreciate it.
Okay,
And
so
so
we need
now-
more, we need
So,
more
yeah,
products.
I have some tasks. You guys.
Do that offer and select thing,
Oh, sure.
yeah.
So, listen, thank you so much for completing these. And I would like to invite you to, for Friday, to eat 2 coconuts and only 5 Dairy Queen banana splits as a prize.
Try one at a time.
Oh,
Offer one at a time, by priority.
okay, so I would say 2 coconuts is something I'd like to offer. And
I'm not sure because it, 55,
55 is.
so I don't think it can go
55.
one day.
The estimate is 55.
Yeah,
Your
we cannot
estimate is
even-
55.
Right.
That's the amount that they would have to
We don't have the
roll in order
capacity to do that,
consume
that's it.
the
Oh,
So
yeah,
our rundown,
Yeah, I'm
our
sorry.
points max
Okay.
14 we can go, that's
Oh.
the max.
Oh, okay, sorry. So let's try 5 Dairy Queen banana splits
For
for an
8.
estimate of
But
8.
Mr. Product Owner, you had avocados as the highest priority item. Have you changed
I
your?
have.
Oh,
Yeah, I
thank
have
you.
in this,
Oh,
because
okay.
we finished early,
Yeah,
I took a look at our backlog
the Nielsen ratings, yeah.
and came up with a higher value
Oh,
with
great.
lower, but with a relatively doable estimate.
I see.
You're replacing the
Oh,
avocado
okay.
with
I-
banana?
yes.
So what you want to do here is ask them to vote
Okay, so
on the one thing.
what do you think about 5?
Yeah.
1 banana split each?
Well,
Then great.
so how we do it is a good question.
So that goes into the sprint backlog.
Okay.
Offer another one.
Another one, okay, 55 is too high, so we're gonna drop that one. But here's another one.
So you.
We're so gonna leave that one behind.
You don't want, so you change your priority.
I'm going with benefit. How do you feel about 10 Bob's Classic Big Boys? We're back to burgers.
And the estimate is,
The estimate is 8.
That'll be 16.
16.
We've been averaging 14.
Yeah, it is now.
call for a vote. Let's see those
What do you
thumbs.
think? You guys want to give it a go?
They say no.
No, no, okay.
You wanna offer something
Let me
else?
try something else.
What's that?
Okay.
This is our- Have we entered the Thursday points yet?
Not yet.
Still have 2.
So we have 2 days
Right.
then?
Okay.
No, even Thursday, we have not used up all our capacity.
So I will offer you up 5 delicatessen pastrami's on that. Okay, estimate of 3. For a total of 11.
Looks good.
Great. Okay.
So we have 2 days or 1 day?
That's true, we actually have, we have half of
We
one
have
day's
not
points
even
still.
finished. So he only.
You
used
still
up
have
half,
points?
and he
Okay.
haven't used
Right.
it,
Should we
so, yeah.
could throw the avocados in and clear it off?
Yeah.
Ask them.
Is it okay if we try to do the avocados too? That way we can
Yes.
clear our backlog?
Okay,
So
so
the
let's
avocado lot
finish,
came down?
let's finish with our
Okay,
Thursday.
so I'm gonna handle the avocados,
Okay,
put it in doing. And that's cost, I'm gonna do
In
that.
doing.
It's done.
Put it
Today
in
I'm
doing.
gonna-
Yeah.
I did it in Thursday.
yeah, he's doing.
Oh, okay.
So minus 2.
And what are you doing? What was the other?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That was all I could do.
And then do you have some points?
I do, I
right?
have 4 points which I'm gonna put against the banana splits, and I just wanna remind people I'm a vegetarian.
Yep. Okay, so can you guys give me the total that you had for Thursday?
I could actually give it more.
7,
Half 4.
We'll see.
That's okay.
11, 14, 17.
17, okay.
That was a good day.
Okay, welcome to Friday.
So what's next?
So now we go around and we say, how'd you do
What do you
yesterday?
call that?
Oh, it's the end of the sprint.
The daily scrum.
Okay, so this is the daily scrum, welcome to Friday. Everybody standing up? You're not standing up.
I'll wait for time when I'm. Steve, excuse me. Is the product owner part of the daily scrum?
The product owner typically attends,
Okay.
but
So
does
just
not,
listens.
does not report out like you do.
Okay.
Yesterday I had 5 ice creams, and today I'm planning to just have pasta. Sorry. Yeah, that's the first one.
So yesterday I have 2 spouts. I'll try
One.
bananas.
Do you have any impediments?
Nope.
Yesterday, I completed 4 unit work, so I have, I ate, 8 variety items, Whopper, corn, and Brussels sprout. And today, I'm gonna be, I would like to have some pastrami. And no impediments.
And yesterday I put 4 points towards banana splits. Today, I don't know what to do because I'm a vegetarian, and that's also my impediment.
Okay.
Yesterday I completed the avocados. And today, I'm not sure. I'm not set on eating pastrami, so that's an impediment.
Well, maybe the product owner will find something else for us to do, so. Shall we roll first, or, and then see if we can consume 7 points?
I can't get that.
On high rollers.
Okay.
I like the
Me?
I have 3, so I will have 3 banana split.
Two banana splits.
Yeah,
There's one left.
I have one, and I would like to have the pasta.
You want to move that into doing?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I also have 1, so, the pastrami.
One left.
So I had 3, I'll use it on the banana -1 on the daily plan split.
And then,
He can't do that. I'm impeded by that, so
oh,
I couldn't work on it, even if I had to.
I have 6 and I'm not qualified to work.
okay.
So
So,
basically taking the day off.
yeah,
Well, we're gonna call in the product owner and see if there's anything else we can do
Oh,
for
sure.
him today, 'cause
sure. Let's see, you have 6, right?
And you have 2.
I have 2. And you have 2, and it's a vegetarian, is your right? Okay, and,
Actually, it's
Oh,
an article we should.
Just rye, problem with rye.
a problem with rye. And you have 2,
Yeah, 2.
Perfect. We'll give you, and we're dealing with estimates?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about, you can eat 5 apples on an estimate of 2, right? Okay, so we'll do, thank you. And then, for the vegetarian, we'll do celery, what, estimate of 3, if you can, and, cabbage.
I don't know if I could do both celery and cabbage. That's an awful lot of greens for one
It'd
day.
be, but it comes up to, 6,
Yeah.
interestingly enough.
But maybe my coworker and I could, divide the work a little. Maybe I could do some apples. For instance.
Oh, okay, so you might, okay, collaborate, okay, cool.
Alright, we're gonna put him in the doing column, so
okay.
they're gonna get it.
And they're gonna get done. That's not.
Okay, so, how do you guys wanna divvy this up?
We
We
still
have,
have some leftover points, right, from today.
yes, you have 6 points and he has
That's okay.
2, and
So I'll take one of the apples
Great.
and one of the celery.
So I'll take 1 point of apple, which is 0, and then what's left on the celery?
there's 2 points of celery and 3 points of cabbage.
Wow, I guess I'm gonna have a very green day. I'll do both of those.
Thank you. That's great news.
For the good of the team.
For the show,
For the
don't
good of
forget
the
it's a
team.
show. Okay, so we completed our week.
What about, okay.
We
That's
have-
that?
The rye didn't get
We
done.
have backlog because we have vegetarian, yeah.
And
Okay, so
are there
that's-
any points left?
No. All right, so that's 1 week's, 1 sprint's worth of work. So congratulations on that. Now what we do is we have a couple of meetings. One of them is called a sprint review, which is considered kind of the public end of the sprint, because people can be invited to come to this meeting that are not on the team. Stakeholders would like to probably be invited to this meeting, and the product owner typically invites people and facilitates this meeting.
Every week?
Yeah, every end of every sprint. And it happens to be weekly here. So let's concentrate on that. Now, during the sprint review, there's a sheet back here. It's a worksheet. Kind of tells you what you want to know about this.
Oh, velocity, et cetera?
Yeah. So, product owner, you can enlist people's aid to help fill that out.
Oh, okay. Points.
You want points completed this sprint? Total this sprint.
For the whole sprint, it's 14 times 5,
We had.
literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14 is 70?
70 points,
Okay.
5 points
And
over.
the sprint was 5 days?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't come into play here.
Points divided by sprint.
Points per sprint is same as the other number.
70.
For the first one, it'll be the same as the other number. How many points did you get done this sprint? 70.
70 points, yeah.
Yeah, right. And the velocity is how many points you got completed this sprint on average.
Okay, 14.
No, it's 70.
Still 70.
Yeah, For the first one, they'll be the same.
We need more data sets.
Now, somebody, enlist people's aid to figure out what the revenue of the sprint was.
Oh, okay.
You have to add stuff up.
To add that up.
And,
Somebody have a phone or something?
and at the same time, at the same time, somebody can figure out how many points there are in the total release. That is all the points on the board and all the points on the table, because you're going to need that number over here for the burn down chart.
Okay, so we know that.
So
how many points there are.
delegate somebody to do that.
So, would one of you gentlemen find out how many points are left on the table,
Yeah,
literally?
I'll get that.
60. Oh, no, we haven't finished on this one. We're not doing that. 4,400?
Everything is hundreds, right? Okay.
44, 3, 36, 3, 21, 2, 7, 13, 7,
138,
do I,
100, so it's 30,800.
want to do it twice just to be sure? Or do you want to twice?
That's okay.
And then how do we count this one that we haven't completed yet?
And what are you counting?
We counted the money value?
Okay, so you don't get anything for that because it wasn't done.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
revenue this sprint,
13,800.
Okay,
and that number will be the same
okay.
for the first one.
Oh, I see, so one's cumulative and one's instantaneous.
That's right. Okay, so during the sprint review, what you want to do is report out things like what you got done this sprint, what you expected to get done but did not get done, so you're open about that, and essentially the result of it. So the result of it is the revenue in this case. The people in this meeting will not be so interested in how many points you got done. They don't speak points. They don't understand that. So talk about those things, and also you want to fill in the burn down chart as far as you can. So did somebody figure out the total number of points?
For
The-
70.
No,
For the
no,
sprint.
no.
For the total.
Wait, wait, time out. Hang on, hang on, hang on. The total number of points on all the cards.
That's what I said.
Okay.
93 plus 90. 73 plus 92.
Is 165.
Okay, so you started out at the 0 line with 167,
165.
165, whatever. You want to make a mark there and label it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So that would be 150. That's 160. So it's a little bit of
On
a
here, 0, when we started is total here. You have to mark there. Yeah, then minus 70.
minus 70.
So 90 something is there.
It's 90.
95?
What was left?
Really
Yeah,
small amounts.
so 92, and there was
79.
That's 3 we didn't finish, so we have to add that. So 95.
Yes.
You want to burn down how many you got done. So however many this is that you got done, you want to subtract that from your first number there.
Yeah, it's done.
So what number is that?
This
90.
is 95. That's
started
what you
on
said was
Yeah,
95
yeah, that's
remaining?
Ming calculated it,
Okay, so draw a line between those two,
including the ones we didn't get done.
as straight as you can. Okay, so let's do this formally. Why don't we report out? And the product owner typically facilitates this, but you can call on other people to explain what got done.
Okay.
Because the people doing the work probably are in the best position to explain it.
All right.
You want to get from them what they got done this sprint, what they expected to get done but did not complete, and then the revenue figure and point at the burn down chart.
So are we doing, is this a retrospective?
This is the sprint review.
Spread review?
So you have stakeholders. Mike is your stakeholder, so you can address him.
sprint, we had completed tasks equivalent to 13,800 in revenue. And
What did you get done?
we did the burritos, the Ben and Jerry's ice cream, Burger King Whoppers, ears of corn, Brussels sprouts, avocados, the banana splits, apples, the celeries, and the cabbage. We had one pastrami sandwich left.
So that didn't get done.
That didn't get done, and team, do you know why we didn't finish the pastrami's?
It's actually a different meeting,
Ah.
but for the sake of time,
Is it?
I can tell you this organization has way too much meat eating going on. And I'm really thinking about going to another company.
You're right, that's a different meeting.
I have
So
a feeling that's real, though.
showcase your burn down chart and talk about progress.
Progress?
How does it look like you're going to do in the future?
Ah, okay. Well, we're averaging, I think the next sprint looks like it might be the same.
Question, actually, that is, has to done, I mean, product owner does that or the master?
Officially, the product owner facilitates this meeting, or usually does, and so can do the presentation himself or herself, or can ask somebody else to do it.
Ali, you want to explain the burn down
The
chart?
product owner will have called the meeting, but
We can do that.
you can do
Oh,
that,
cool.
yeah.
Sure, thanks. So when we start, the product has like 165 effort points, and we started at the budget, and then we are able to finish 70 points in first sprint. We are planning to do rest of the, we are going to complete rest of the work in couple of sprints. And now, after first sprint, we have 95 points. So probably, if you complete another 70, we'll maybe another 25 left over, and then hopefully we'll complete whole project in this phase.
Good, thank you very much. Well, let's call that end of the sprint review. Move on to the last meeting, which is the sprint retrospective. This is the private end of the sprint that's attended by only the team members. No stakeholders are invited to this, no outsiders. Now, I said team members, that's not exactly what I meant. The entire Scrum team, including the product owner and the Scrum Master, attend this meeting. I was working with some people once that read it the other way, and so they wouldn't let their Scrum Master and product owner attend. They kicked them out.
How'd it go?
There was, nobody knew, because they weren't reporting out at the end either. They were just taking a meeting.
So that's like if a retrospective happens in a horse meeting.
That's right, that's right. So basically what you do in this meeting mostly is to feedback about the way you work, your work process, if you want to call it that, how you work together. And the idea is to try to improve that as you go. So if you think of it as what you want to come out the end of that meeting is one or two experiments. One is fine, that represent changes in the way that you work, something that you can agree to try the next sprint and see if it makes a difference in work efficiency, happiness at work, those kinds of things.
Can you give us an example?
Yeah,
I'll give you an example. I'll start. Fair enough?
yeah,
Okay. So I am amazed at how much we got done. You remember me from sprint planning saying, cut it off here, right? I'm just really, really impressed. I'm super happy working on such a high-performing team. Now, in terms of things that I'd like to change, I feel like we're getting an awful lot of carnivore work. And I protest.
have a great team, it's very supportive, and yeah, I happen to take one day off, but my team is able to proceed with the work. I'm fortunate to have a great team. And regarding I personally don't like to change the plans and work and make the changes within the sprint, add, change the scope. So sometimes that may impact the schedule, and going forward for the next sprint, I would like to have more changes during the sprint.
It would be a discussion,
There is a.
yeah,
That's something I wanted to say.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I think that the CEO should give us health club membership, because as you can see, there are some occupational hazards here. And I'm worried about the sustainability of my team.
If I were the Scrum Master in here, and I would at that point suggest that Sam volunteer to make sure that that gets brought up with the CEO.
I should take that item and work on that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
That would be a good outcome of the meeting, one good outcome. In the context of this simulation, are there any things that you would do to change the way that you're doing the work, like the way you group it, the way you roll, the way you apply the roles, or anything like that, to change the process? Yeah.
Do you mind if I speak? One thing I noticed about the item left on the board, which isn't to say that there might not have been another item left on the board, but I think the team as a whole cooperates really well, and we could probably, with a little more sensitivity, have organized the work in such a way that we could have taken into account the rye impediment and the vegetarian requirement in order to relieve the carnivorous burden that's being placed on you. And we could have possibly cleared we had some extra capacity, I believe, like if we had left a few points out. We could actually have cleared this. Now, again, and I think the team works well enough together that with a little thought, we could have reorganized our priority, or what work was taken in order to take care of that item.
Can you put that in the form of an experiment to try?
You mean, well, with next week's work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we should probably talk about with next week's work, when we have a day's choice, if there's something left, or we know that people have impediments, that they speak up, and then everybody, the way we've been working is everybody chooses and it's fixed. But if we come and we see as a group that there's something left over, we could possibly give some thought to how might we take up that slack and accomplish our goal as a group.
Does that make sense to you? Do you want to try something like that? I mean, theoretically.
Well, I have one thought too. One thing that we do, the back of during the meeting discussion, we have a lot of concern about certain tasks and to clarify any requirements. Like for example, Bert could eat the rye, but if we had that earlier discussion, he could have brought that up.
Yeah.
We would have kind of went.
Excellent suggestion, and this is a good meeting to bring that up in. Do you want to be responsible for making sure that experiment gets run?
Sure.
All right, good. So I'm going to call an end to the retrospective because of time constraints. And ordinarily we run 3 of these. And you know enough about this now, you could run the other 2 on your own, I'm sure. But I think we don't have any more time here. Is that right, Mike? We ran over.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is there time for questions?
yeah.
I noticed in the retrospective that if someone had some feedback that required some type of follow-up, your question was assigned to that individual who brought it up.
Oh, ask them if they're willing to volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that standard?
Some people do that and some don't. Some teams will just say, what do we do this sprint that we liked? What do we do that we want to change? You know, that kind of stuff. And
So
that's-
whose responsibility is to see through that change?
I like it when it leads to actionable items. So that's
Yeah.
why I tend to urge people to think of them in terms of experiments. So because an experiment you can do, and it's not a firm policy change, it's just something to try. You can always revert if it's not successful. But I think that works better also than just having a list of action items, because that's what you end up, that's your result, is a list. And nobody necessarily does anything with it. So if you talk about experiments and small ones, then it's likely that the changes will be tried, and people will find out if the change is a good change or not a good change, and either keep it or get rid of it.
What was the meeting before the retrospective?
The sprint review.
Okay, is that where you demo the code?
Yeah.
Of where, what
That-
you're
that's-
doing?
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Demo the code.
Yeah, the product. So I guess in this case, you could show the trash can full of all the wrappers and
Is that the first time that the product manager would see the actual code being executed, or? 'Cause he doesn't
You mean
see
the
during
product owner?
Yeah.
Um,
See it doing this.
It depends on the culture of the company. Some people talk to their product owner all the time and demo along the way. But some companies, the product owner is split and doing all kinds of different things. And we'll just attend that meeting and see what happens and get the demo. But it all depends on the company culture.
But that would be the time when they would say, oh, I like this, or I don't have issues with this. When would that come up?
That's done different ways as well, but I like to encourage people, the product owner, to know about that coming into the meeting. You know, I like the product owner to,
Because he's attending the daily scrum.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So be,
But this is, you bring up a good point. This is the meeting, the sprint review is the meeting where you feedback and get information that essentially affects the product backlog. Because if you find out that a feature that you thought was going to be very valuable, but it's not so much because it's going to take too much time, and now you know that, then you can move that down in the order of the product backlog and not prioritize it high the next time. So this is also the meeting where they see the product demoed, and it will give people ideas for more features or different features. And so they can, not necessarily in that meeting do they feedback on it, but they get the information so they can go outside the meeting and influence the product owner to change things around or add features.
so, but, let's suppose if the product owner is attending the daily scrum,
Yeah.
the daily stand-up.
Yeah.
Ali mentioned he didn't like the idea of the scope changing midway. So it would not be appropriate, I'm asking, it would not be appropriate for the product manager in the daily stand-up to add a feature or to modify a feature because it would change the scope?
There are different schools of thought about this, but generally the guideline is the product owner should not do things that cause churn. You shouldn't let people work on stuff halfway and then take it away from them and work on something else. You should let them, as much as possible, complete what they selected into the sprint. And in cases where, there are two cases. One of them is you ran out of work. So the product owner naturally wants to offer more. That's fine. That's not really a scope, it's a scope addition, but that stuff was in a backlog somewhere, okay? The other one is if in the middle of the sprint they discover that a feature or an item is no longer valuable. That is, we thought this was going to be our big money maker, but now we discovered 10 other companies are selling this exact same thing. There's no money in this market for us. Then they will say, just take that out. And you can swap for something else at that point.
In the middle of a sprint?
Yes.
Would
It
that be
doesn't-
considered an iteration?
That doesn't necessarily end the iteration unless the product owner is saying all of these features are no longer valuable. Then that's an abnormal sprint termination, and you kind of you plan over. You end the sprint and start planning again.
So I feel compelled to add, there's quite a lot of discipline to being a product owner. Let me just say that again. there's quite a lot of discipline to being the product owner. So if you, the product owner, put this story in the product backlog, and the team starts to work on it, and, you know, I don't know, maybe, Cartoon Network gets into these delete, programs, and so none of this stuff makes any sense, that's okay, but don't do that very often, because the team will revolt, and rightly so. And you might just kind of accidentally have a story. I know some folks that were in the internet radio business a couple of weeks ago. The world changed, right? So, you know, those things happen, but don't do that all the time.
One of the reasons that the sprints are so short is because that makes it possible for the product owner to hold off. You know, like in our simulation here, the sprint was a week long. It would be rare for a feature to come along that you couldn't wait on average a half a week for, you know. So the traditional way of doing things would be that the period of work would be very long, and so there are more opportunities to change things as they go. But the sprints are so short, you really should let people complete what they're doing before changing up on them.
Okay.
Churn is one of the things that as a developer I hated more than almost anything. You told me what to work on, I worked on it, I'm not done. Now you're telling me not to work on that and work on this. Are you going to do the same thing again?
Yeah.
Etc. So there,
Is the retrospective the time where that is an opportunity to change for the next sprint?
the retrospective is more about the way you work than anything else, not about the features.
What kind of lessons we learn, what kind of changes we can make.
Yeah, it's how to work better as a team.
Yeah. So what went right and what went wrong in the previous sprint,
Yeah.
what the changes we can make in the future sprint so that we will be very successful. Come back in the previous sprint. In waterfall, we do the lessons learned at the end of the project. So here, each iteration considers one phase of the project. So that's what we try to discuss that retrospective.
Are there any other questions or comments? Thank you all for playing.